Welcome back to the Christmas Mouse House, where we have done a lot in the last 12 weeks, but now we are in the parlor, which is kind of a blank slate. Good thing I have these thrifted furniture pieces, and we're going to dive through our inspiration book the night before Christmas and take a look at some of the furniture in here. So, if we flip back to the bedroom, you can see there's some wooden furniture, which is very typical of the Victorian time period. But then when we go ahead towards the living room, I believe it's where Santa's shaking his belly like a bowl full of jelly. Yep, there we are. We have some gilded furniture, and I think I can create that effect and also reupholster this kind of 70s special brown floral. So I've got some gold paint here, and I am going to start by removing the upholstery that already exists. This is, like I said, this is thrifted. Nothing's really damaged, but it is older, and I'm able to just peel this off without even heating it up or anything. So let's do that real quick. And now on our surfaces, some of it is a little bit of wood, but some of it I think is actually plastic. At any rate, it's very smooth, like these tabletops here and some of the trim. I don't think the paint will stick unless we use this steel wool. I like using this steel wool instead of sandpaper, for example, because sandpaper is pretty likely on any areas that might be wood, like the base of the chair. It is pretty likely to take out some of these cute little details that I want to preserve and have under the gold finish. So I'm going to continue just all the way around on all the parts I'm going to paint gold, but I'm not going to worry about the parts like the underside of the chair or the main part of the seat that's going to be covered by upholstery or otherwise not really visible. So let's finish that up real quick. And while I did start by using some of this gold acrylic paint, you're going to see as I'm painting that I don't really like the finish. I could probably get the look I want if I was really slow and went over it over and over, like 5, 6, 7, 8 layers, but I don't want to. So I dug into my craft bin and I found some other sources of gold paint. I have 4 of these gold paint pens, so I tested each one and ended up with the 2 in the middle, stuck pretty well, as you can see, to the finish there. So I did the same thing to this settee, and now we're going to add upholstery. For upholstery, I use this red velvet adhesive backed liner like you would use for, finishing the inside of a jewelry box. But look how good that looks in 1/12 scale. That looks just right for a Victorian parlor. So let me take you step by step through how I did this. I've got my scrap piece of adhesive back liner. It comes already, with this backing on it, so I can trace my pattern pieces onto it. So I saved these bits of upholstery that I removed, and I'm just going to trace each one on the velvet right there. And I'm checking to make sure that the nap of the velvet is going up and down and not side to side. And now that I'm sure everything's pointing the right way, I'm just going to press down to get it flat against the velvet and trace all the way around with a sharp pencil. My goal with this Christmas Mouse House project is to use only things that I already have around the house or have found secondhand or left over from other projects. I'm thinking of the mice that live in this house as scavengers, kind of like the Borrowers in the series by Mary Norton, which I just absolutely loved when I was a kid. So now let's just quickly speed through tracing the rest of these pieces. And then we're going to cut them out very carefully with our scissors. And you know what? Let's go ahead and speed up this part too. I actually go very slowly while I'm watching TV. I just like having something to keep my hands busy. And in this case, I like doing these finicky little fussy cuts while I'm watching Chicago Med, almost through season 7 right now. But working on this parlor furniture actually makes me want to rewatch Downton Abbey. So now that we have our pieces cut out, we are going to dry fit rather than peel off the backing and end up with a potential very sticky mess. So I'm just going to lay it down, take this back part first, and line it up within this groove sort of situation that it has, where there used to be that tufted bit of cotton and cardboard, but our custom cut velvet should fit just right. Good. Okay. So once I have finagled that into place to my satisfaction, might also take a while. Again, I'm doing this while watching TV usually. Then I am going to get out my bottom cushion and I'm going to see if the nap is enough to kind of meet the bottom of this and have it look nice and finished. So let's take a look at that. Okay, actually, that looks pretty good to me. So once I'm satisfied, I am going to go back, peel off the backing, and then apply it for real. So this is like playing with stickers. I had a huge sticker book of Lisa Frank stickers when I was about the same age that I was when I was reading The Borrowers by Mary Norton. One of the really nice things about this adhesive backed velvet that I like to use so much is that it's just the tiniest bit stretchy. So if there's a little area like right here, I can just press on it really good with my thumb and smooth it out and get it to fit all the way into that groove. So I love the way this is turning out. And now let's do the rest. Here, the chair is all finished. Oh, I love how this turned out. So now we are going to repeat the process with these back panels, upholstering the back of these. Don't peek. Now you know the process. Okay, now you can look. And doesn't that look terrific? I love these. Okay, so now let's move on to the tables, which don't require upholstery, thankfully. But I am going to paint them gold, and I'm going to finish off the top with a little bit of marble contact paper. And then for these smaller tables, I'm feeling like the top of them reminds me of a postage stamp. See that scalloped edge? So I'm going in with a white paint marker and just very carefully coloring in all around the edges and even overlapping a little bit on the very top. It takes a few coats, and that is completely okay because in the end, we have something just right to paste a little picture in the middle and have it look like the mice scavenged a little Christmas postage stamp and used it on their fancy tables. I got these vintage postage stamp printables. It's by Dreams Factory for the Graphics Fairy. I love the Graphics Fairy. They have so many printables available just for free. I'm going to use these two that say Christmas Wishes and December 25th. And I'm going to use a little template of the top of the table in order to cut out the picture. So I made it just with a bit of tissue paper or parchment paper. I'm going to lay it over my design and cut that out and glue it on with my favorite Beacon 3-in-1 glue. I use this on just about everything. It is like the duct tape of glues. It can do anything, especially if you spread it out with a paper spreader like this one. I just have a scrap bit of paper, and I'm going to make a nice thin layer. Look at that. Looks like they just ripped it off a postcard. I like it. So now I'm going to do the other one. Again, don't peek. There you go. See? Two matching side tables. I would probably call them occasional tables. And if you're not sure what I mean by that, I'll show you. Here, let's go into our mouse house parlor. There is the settee, the two chairs, and the coffee table. just right for holding a little Christmas tree if we need to, but there's not a lot of other room, and that's okay. These tiny little tables can fit in any of these rooms. They could be in the bedroom just to hold a little toy or a book. You could even put one in the bathroom to hold your clothes while you're getting ready for your special occasion. But that's an occasional table. It's something that it doesn't have a specific function like a tea table, but it matches your decor and you can use it as you need to. I had so much fun on this miniature makeover, and if you enjoyed it too, I really hope you'll stick around and subscribe to get a notification for my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.